live on my very first ever paint-a-sode. I tried this a little while ago and it didn't work out so well, so hopefully this time it will work quite well. So what are we going to talk about while we paint? First of all, what are we painting? Well, demonettes. I must finish the demonettes because these are going to Alamo with me, and I am using a couple more than I normally do. I have some banners to finish. So as you see, like banners, and I need to free paint on a symbol here, do something. I don't know how long it's going to take me, but I'm going to try to get that done as well tonight because it all needs to be done by Thursday night. Because Friday, I head down to Alamo, San Antonio, Texas, which I'm super stoked for. Super excited. So I've never actually tried to paint and talk at the same time. I'm assuming I will do quite well at it because, I mean, it's me. And I was born to talk shit. So let's see what happens. But I've been home all week by myself. My fiance is traveling for work. So I've gotten a chance to get a lot of hobbying done. And when I do painting and whatnot, I either listen to podcasts or I will watch YouTube videos. And I've watched several the last couple of days. I watched last night as I was painting, I watched Skaven and AZ's glue episode that he did. And we're going to have a good time and a good game. I'm quite certain of it now. Even though he doesn't drink, which, you know, we all have our fatal flaws, I won't bad game him for it completely. If he beats me, I might have to bad game him for not drinking. But other than that, I mean, I can't foresee any other problems. Joking, by the way. Well, when I concentrate on painting, my sarcasm doesn't quite come through all the way. Sucks. So, I know he said something about he was going to do a episode where he's going to tell me his list, and honestly, it doesn't really matter because it's a Skaven list, and to be perfectly honest, I have probably one of the two better Skaven players in the South that live within 30 minutes of me. I play Skaven a ton, an absolute metric ton. I am pretty used to their tricks and their whatnots. So it's pretty cool to see somebody's list beforehand, but honest to God, I mean, I'm not going to get a chance to practice against his list beforehand. So, whatever. But I also got to watch the episode where he talked about my list. And I thought that was kind of neat. I thought that was kind of neat because it's always cool to see somebody else's perspective on a list that you built. So I built my list. I know what it does. And other people, I think, kind of look at it, and if you take it at face value, you look at it and go, well, this is good, this is stupid, I don't get this, I don't get that, I don't get this. That's why I love building fluffier or funnier lists. There, I think, are like 9 demon players going to the Alamo GT. 2 of us are not taking double cannon, beast and Nurgle. That's what you expect when you sit down and you know, you go to a tournament, and now with War Score, you get an email, and you're like, oh, who am I playing? Demons of Chaos, table, you know, whatever. I know what this list is going to be. 5 Beasts of Nurgle, 4 Beasts of Nurgle, a solo beast, 2 cannons. Like, people start to know. It's kind of like when you see the High Elf player, and you're like, okay, High Elf, what is this going to be? Either the Cav Star, or is this going to be 2 blocks, a Phoenix Guard, and then White Lions with the banner, a couple of Frost Phoenixes. Like, you already kind of know what the list is. So I've definitely been trying to build lists that people don't necessarily see or know what's coming. And to my credit, it usually helps me in tournaments. But against really good players, it doesn't really matter. They can kind of see between the lines. But I did enjoy listening to him talk about the list because I think he's kind of confused about it, to be honest. And when I see him, I will, after the game, I'll probably talk to him about it and say, like, what were you thinking with this? But I will run down my list really quick. For those of you who have not seen his video, I'll kind of fill in the gaps. It is a level 4 Keeper of Secrets, which is, yay, it's fun, it's cool, it's awesome. Then it's on level 4. He's level 4 with Slaanesh magic, which I love Slaanesh magic. And Chris is very correct that Slaanesh magic is good. It's not super good against Skaven per se. At least I don't think so, because of the leadership bubbles that they have and all the stubborn and cacophonic. The movements which screws with everybody, but I don't do a lot of wounds. But I can take out big models and big models quickly. Heavily armored models quickly. They go away. I really enjoy playing Empire List with Steam Tanks because they just go away. I just buy Steam Tanks, buy Demigryph Knights, buy, whatever. It doesn't matter. High Elves, though, it's another matter. I am running the Herald on the Exalted Secret Chariot, and if you looked at his list, he wasn't sure. He did have the Exalted Locust on there. It says Exalted Locust of Beguilements, like the first couple words on Army Builder when you do it. And I do drop your initiative. I do get to challenge out. I do get all the impact hits first. I'm not going to give all of my secrets away here with that, but he's kind of got the idea of it. And when I was watching the video, he kept saying that he had to use his cannon to take out my keeper, the cannon to take out the chariot, the cannon to take out the 2 soul grinders. You only got 2 cannons. If I go first in games against horde armies, I am there turn 2. For sure, turn 2. There's no way around it. I will hit you turn 2. Worst case scenario, I'm there turn 3. So I don't mind it too bad. So I don't know. We'll see how it kind of goes and plays out. I do have a unit of 11 demonettes with a banner and a musician only, or champion and banner only, because I don't plan on reforming. And with that being said, I don't really plan on doing much with it. So I don't know. Let me do this really quick. So the 11, it's what it's there for is some of the scenarios you have to get to things and shoot off things, and most people are going to leave my 11 demonettes alone. Then I do have the horde of 39. I totally expect to get that unit plagued. I'm totally expecting to watch it get doom rocketed. The great thing about when you play against Skaven is, and I've just come to this realization, and after playing it so many times, and I just got into the game in March, and one of my co-hosts of Lone Hammer podcast and one of my good friends, he plays Skaven, and he plays it really, really well. When Skaven toys go off, they go off. There's nothing you can do about it. You just accept it. That's the only thing I know how to do is you just accept. You accept the fate that it is giving you. So that's kind of how I am with this. I just accept that if I lose this game because of cannons and doom wheels getting strength 10 and the cannons both hitting at strength 10 and the A-bomb running forward 17 inches turn 1, it is what it is. At the end of the day, it's a dice game. I'm there to drink and have a good game. I am running 4 fiends. Those are pretty much to run down the flank of somebody and tie something up. And I'm running the 2 soul grinders. Both have flame cannons, and one has a demon bone claw. Now, because it's open list, and Chris is a smart guy, one of the things that Slaaneshi demons especially get to do is my lore attribute allows me to get more demons. So every wound I cause, I get a dice chance at more demonettes, and a 5 or 6. So for those of you that don't know the demonette lore, I get that ability. Now, with that ability, I get to go ahead and try for more demonettes. We're playing a scenario in game 1 of the Alamo that is going to put us in a corner. Well, theoretically. Basically, you measure up 24 inches on a side of the board, each side, and then you kind of come in diagonally to the other corner. So, you basically get an inch, kind of like I think it's half an inch every going on up. So you get this space. The good thing about demons is that I don't have a lot of units, but my units aren't huge, right? I have things that I can kind of pack into spots, tight spots. Skaven doesn't have that ability. I've looked at the deployment zone over and over again, and it's brutal for Skaven because you're either going bus formation and you can't fit in to half of the board, or you're going to have to go in a horde formation, and then as a Skaven player, you're basically going to be strung out on a huge line. So, unless I'm missing something, which I do, I think that he's going to be in one little corner. And that's bad news. Bad news for Skaven players because, like he said, Slaanesh magic has a lot of bomb spells where I do mass damage in big units. I have 2 flame cannons that are going to shoot across Skaven slaves. It's strength 5, toughness 3. They're going to go away. I'm going to delete them. And I think that if I get a perfect hit frontal with a flame template out of 50, I think I take 31 with me if I looked at the flame template right. So I can basically delete slave units with just shooting coming into combat. But I don't always want to talk about Skaven AZ. He's a good guy. He tweeted me last night. He was at the liquor store and asked me my preference. My preference is anything, bro. I'll drink what you give me because that's what men do. You drink what you're handed. Period. The end. That's how it is. And for those of you that are coming to Alamo, I will have a surprise. Pray to God that I'm not on a table that's next to the door, because walking into the convention center, you will take a shot, or you will not enter, most likely. I mean, unless you're bigger than me, or you're, I don't know, a douchebag, and I'm not sharing my liquor with you in that case anyway. So that is kind of my whole thing. This is my army. He did miss that my herald is a BSB as well that's on the chariot. It does have a greater gift. My keeper has a greater gift and a lesser gift. The lash can only be taken as a greater gift. So I think he mentioned that he thought it was a lesser gift, but it's also a greater gift. It's a greater gift only. And the lash is good, but there's something a little bit better against Skaven that I'm going to try to take. And I always get the ability to take a magic item that's that point cost anyway, or a weapon anyway of that cost. I have to actually look in the demon book if it says magic item or just magic weapon, but it doesn't matter. So that's kind of where I'm sitting at with this matchup in Alamo. If you have a question or want to know more, I'm free to talk about it, because to me, my army kind of plays itself with Slaanesh. Everybody knows what's coming. I mean, most of the times you kind of know what's coming. I have a couple little wacky things in it, but no big deal. But what I'm really excited for is the end of times. Now, everybody that has checked out YouTube today, Long Island has talked about it. I'm sure Whoop-de-Whoop, he's talked about it. Him and Nick with Big Bad Bat Reps, I think is how his channel goes. I like his channel. I think they talked about it today. I kind of went in and out of that thing while I was getting some stuff done. What does it mean for demons? Because I don't know Warhammer enough to know every army, and I don't know every model. I don't know every unit. I don't know every rule, and I don't ever care to. It's just entirely too much information. But what does it mean for demons? What does it mean for the Orchard? What does it mean for me? It means that come Wapaka, I think that I'm going to be forced to take a double greater demon list. I'm going to take one herald that's a BSB. I'm going to have to, and I'm probably going to put it on a disc or something to fly it around, because why not? And then core choices, and I don't know after that. I really have no clue. But I know that that's kind of where I'm going to be sitting at. I'm going to kind of run. So I might run Demonettes, or I might be switching to Zinch just because it might be more convenient. But I don't think I'll run Nurgle. It'll be either Keeper and a Bloodthirster, or a Lord of Change and a Bloodthirster, and then the core to match. I mean, if it's horrors, I will have like a ridiculous magic phase. I mean, a Lord of Change, 4 units of horrors, stuff could get out of control. And P.A.K.A., looking at the rules pack, you're kind of going to get negatives to your fortitude if you take cannons. So I'm not going to take a cannon. Besides, the way it makes the way they're making it sound when I listen to Point Hammer podcast, and it seems like they want people to take big bad monsters. It's like, bring big bad monster. Let's see big bad monsters fight. So I want to kind of go in the spirit of the tournament. So I'm going to leave the skill cannons at home, and I might try to fit a soul grinder into 2,000 points. I don't know if it fits properly though. I don't know. I'm going to see. We'll see how it kind of works itself out. But that is my overall goal for the whole tournament. For the End of Times, I think End of Times is going to be good for everybody. But I'm one voice. I've seen a lot of people freaking out today over tournaments, like, oh my God, what are they going to do? The tournament's going to accept it. You know what? A TO, if they're running their own tournament, they can just say, you know what? We don't like that rule with GW. We're going to keep it this way. I mean, they do it already with comp, so why would they not do it with this? So if they like End of Times, they might run it. If they don't, then they might not. Does it matter? You get to go play Warhammer. You get to drink. If you don't like the rules, play your own rules. I mean, that's the way I think it should be. I think that you should get to play whatever rules that you want to play to make your hobbying or game experience fun. If you like End of Times, play it. You hate it? F it. So that's all I got to say about that. That's it, Jenny. I will say this, though. I say entirely too much. As I was listening to Skaven AZ last night, or Chris, or, whatever, as I was listening to him on his channel, he was talking about the next stage is growing the hobby. And he wants to grow the hobby and do like a tournament in Arizona and all that good stuff. So I'm looking forward to that too. Oh, my dog. I'm looking forward to doing that as well. If he ever did a tournament in Arizona, I would almost guarantee that I would go. And I'm sure that a lot of the Texas contingent would go. And the reason being is there's no set rule with it, but I think that if TOs travel to your tournament, I think a lot of the TOs travel to their tournament. So if you're going to spend your time as a TO, and Mark Cox is a friend of mine, and he goes to a lot of tournaments outside of Texas. And why? Because a lot of those guys come to Lone Wolf every single year. So they spend their nickel to come. So Mark returns the favor. I think it's great. I think it's really great that a lot of guys, especially in the South, are so willing to travel outside of tournaments, because it grows the hobby, but it also lets us experience other types of Warhammer. The South is known for Smash Mouth Warhammer. We're known for it. People talk about it. I hear it on other podcasts, like, oh, the South, they're known for their sports, some paint, and they play no comp. Here comes in your face Warhammer. And that's mostly true. I think it's changing. And the reason I think it's changing is because people like Mark and Hayne and John Bailey, and there's a lot of other guys who travel to California and go to the East Coast, and they see other comp systems. They see how things are run other places. And I think that they look at it and go, the South could be that. And the other thing I think that is changing the mentality in Texas, we have a lot of very competitive guys. And I am one of the more critical or vocal. I have a podcast and I have a YouTube channel, and I go to my fair share of tournaments to GTs, where I really think that Smash Hammer is unfun. I think that comp zero lists are ridiculous. I think that it defeats the purpose. I'm not a fan, and I say it all the time, and I think that I take a lot of heat for it. People kind of get a little testy with it. I think unfairly sometimes I go after people. There are people in the South. There's one guy in particular who I don't know if personality wise that I think we're kind of oil and water. I think that we just don't click. People are always telling what a great player he is, and my thing to that whenever I hear it is, yeah, if he brings a comp 2 list, he'll smash everybody's face, but put a comp 2 list in his hand and he's absolute trash. And I don't know if that's always fair. I think a lot of guys play comp, and there's guys that always play comp and they're really good at it because they play it all the time. And there are guys that play Smash Hammer and they're really good at it. And they're really, really good at it. And the South is known for having really, really good Smash Hammer players. The negative side is that the South is competitive, and as a region, we've been talking about Masters all year. Every guy has, even the ones that aren't qualifying, is how do we get good at it and how do we play it? Well, either guys are going to have to start bringing softer lists and comping themselves, or there's going to have to be tournaments that are going to be having to be comped tournaments so that these guys can get practice in and see how good they really are. Because when you take that list to Masters, it is a lot of money to go from a 0 Swedish comp list for 9 months, switch it up to a 9, fly out to North Carolina, and get your ass kicked for 6 straight games. It's a lot of cash to get just beat down. And nobody wants to go somewhere and lose 6 games of Warhammer. Nobody does. I mean, it's not fun. It's not good. It's not fun. It's not going to be a good time at all. But I think that's where my negative Nancy side needs to calm down a little bit when I really rip the Smash Hammer guys. And the reason I say that is that's what they want to play. Then they should be able to play whatever the hell kind of game that is allowed within the rules. If I don't like it, I should shut up about it because, I mean, that's what they like to play. I mean, they do. And I probably owe people an apology. And when I see those people, I may or may not, depending on whether or not they rub me the wrong way continuously. But I think that you should always be able to allowed to play what you want to play. And if you don't like it, if you don't want to play it, then don't go. I think that's always my hang up with Warhammer. Sorry, I just got a message. But that's it for as far as I'm concerned with a lot of the comp debate. Because Chris was talking about it, and when he talked about it, he was talking about that I was bringing a Swedish comp 15 list, which I am. And it got a 10 for Alamo. So a couple of the judges saw it. I think this is here's a slight beef I have with player-based comp, judge-based comp, Swedish-based comp. I have a beef with all of them. I think every single one of them can be gamed. I think all the systems, people are smart enough, I think they can abuse them. I think with player-based comp, people comp your win or loss. They don't comp your army list. I don't think people look at the list. I think there are guys that do it. But I think there are about 90% of dudes, and I will fall into this category quite often, that I could look at a list, go, okay, yeah, whatever, this doesn't seem too bad. Play it, and if you smashed my face in, I'd go, this is a fucking ridiculous comp list. Let me give you a, let me give you a 1, because this is hard. You just beat my face in. But nobody takes dice or how they play into consideration. They just go, well, this is a hard list. Or maybe it wasn't. Maybe it's you. Or it could be the matchup. Or it could be your reputation. I've heard in player-based comp and judge-based comp that people they'll look at the army list, look at the player, and go, normally that's like a 2, but you know what? Who's playing it? That list, that's a 1.5 to 1. So, and Swedish comp, I think some armies get a little over on it than others, but to each is their own. I think they're all good systems. I like them all. I just like playing, so I really don't care what system gets used at the end of the day. I just want to be able to play Warhammer. So it's not too bad. I'm talking about comp because for Alamo, comp is important to watch or to have. The reason I took a 10 comp to Alamo was because of matchups. Now, this is the way Alamo works with comp and matchups. Everybody gets a comp score, and then you are paired throughout the tournament, basically, as best you can, based off of your comp score. So me taking a comp 10, and I took this list before I was challenged and I accepted it. If you take the comp, win, and keep winning with your soft comp, you're going to keep playing soft comp guys. The guys that take the 2 lists, they're going to constantly play those type of lists throughout the tournament. They're paired up right off the bat against the 2 list. They're going to play the second round, another 2 list. They're going to keep playing those lists. It's just the way it is. It's the way it works. So be it. C'est la vie. Which I think that, if that's what you want to do, then you should do it and be done with it. Just know you're playing a bunch of hard games and you really can't complain about anything. So yeah, that's one of the things. So that's my route to. It's kind of how I feel about comp as a whole, and why I build soft lists. I think that a soft list is more challenging than the hard list. I know people that disagree will say, "Well, I played against harder opponents all weekend." Did you really, or did you just play against hard lists all weekend with your really hard list? So, I mean, 2 soft lists going at it, that's hard too, because you're playing somebody of equal list and it's hard. Now take your soft list and play one of those hard lists, and if you like thinking and trying to outplay somebody and trying to negate dice, do that and see how you really do. I think that's a good way of doing things. I swear to God, I do not know how to freehand a banner, and I'm staring at it and I'm dreading what I'm about to do. So, yeah, it's kind of why I'm babbling about this comp thing still. Because seriously, I have no idea how to do this. Here we go. And that was that. And comp also, I think comp also goes into fun games, because I was listening to Chris talk about, when you grow the hobby, when you get the chance to finally grow the hobby, you can affect other people. And when you affect other people playing the game, that's a good thing. The thing about it is that when you want to learn how to play Warhammer, it's great if your group plays softer. I think you have to play to what the competition is, or are you a garage group? Are you a group that goes to GTs constantly? Is that kind of your thing? Is that your group's thing? Is that what you guys do as a unit? I think that that's a huge ordeal with the way the game is played. So that's a big thing to me. So that's first and foremost. And if guys are there just trying to learn, I think people need to, smashing somebody up and wrecking their hobby is hilarious and funny and all that good stuff. It really is. But the problem with that is, what the problem with that becomes is that who are you going to play eventually? I mean, at the end of the day, this is a game, and people like to win games. Not many guys I know want to spend a lot of their money getting their butts kicked constantly by somebody running some stupid hard list and not getting any fun in. I think that if you don't have fun and people can't have fun playing against you, then what's the point? Like, then why would anybody want to learn? So I know that the group that I'm a part of, I live in an area in Dallas where games are abundant. I can always find a game. Everybody can. We have hardcore GT players. We have hardcore hobby players. We have really good painters. We have kind of a mix of everything. And when I say a mix of everything, I really mean that we have a huge mix of everything. So I'm stoked about that. So I don't usually worry about finding games because we just get them. But I will tell you that if I show up to play against somebody, I usually ask what they're running. Are you practicing for a GT or are you just here to game? Because if you're just here to game, then I'm not bringing anything super hard. I'm going to bring something actually kind of the opposite. I'm going to bring something very soft and kind of fun. There's nothing more fun than getting a game with some dudes and having a couple beers or just sitting back laughing and throwing dice. Nobody wants to play the game where it's super competitive all the time. I don't know anybody that likes that, but I could be wrong. I could be in the complete and utter minority on this. So I don't know. Wish I knew more about it, but I don't. I wish I knew how to paint. That would be epic. If I could learn how to paint, then everything would be great. Um, but other than that, I really don't. I really don't know. I mean, I kind of did this, and I kind of had an idea what I was going to say for the whole thing, and then I don't know. Kind of just gonna paint my freestyle banner, yo. Boom! Banner. Freestyle. But probably looks like complete and utter butt. Because I don't know how to paint. And I feel like I shake a ton when painting. And one day somebody will have to explain to me what the hell I know what a wash is, I know how to dry brush, but somebody will have to explain to me like exactly what a highlight and low lights and all that good stuff are. Because to be honest, I have no clue. One of you guys knows that's watching, or if anybody's watching, and you know what I'm talking about, I will gladly take your advice right about now. That would be great. Because I see a lot of videos. I try to watch a lot of videos on YouTube on it. Oh my god, this banner's starting to look like a gosh dang person that's got its hands in the air. And waving it like you just don't care. Well, what? Yeah, that's what I got. That's all I got. That's my funnies for the moment. Oh my god, this looks horrible. Probably doesn't look as bad as I'm making it out to seem, but it feels pretty freaking bad. Yeah, it is as bad as I think it is. Okay, I have to do something about it. So, how many tournaments? So, how does the South? If those of you that are watching and you're not in the South, as you can't tell, I am more of a tournament player than I am a than I am like a hobby player. Time kind of dictates how often I get to play Warhammer, and I try to play once a week, and it ends up being once like every 2 or 3 weeks, I think. We have a league, one of our LGSs, and I try to get into that as often as I can, but it does get a little difficult to do because it's just difficult to get to, with work and family time and fiancés slash wife aggro, because I'm getting married in 2 weeks and might as well be wife, because saying fiance for this long is just over the top. She only she only really wants me to play so often, so I really, really only play, when she says, hey, go ahead and go play. And I'm like, yes, I go play Warhammer. And I go and do it, and then I hope she doesn't get really pissed at me. So yeah, this banner officially sucks, so I'm officially going to cover it up and officially start over because this absolutely positively does suck. I hate when I screw these things up. People that paint bad should not be allowed to try to freehand anything in life because we just screwed up. Oh, man. And then there's like all this silence, and I'm doing a paint episode, and that just probably isn't very cool. So, you know what? Screw it. Chris, if you're watching this, you're going down, bro. I am gonna push your shit in, and it's gonna be glorious. And in case you are one of the 3 people watching, which are 4 or 5 now, 3, I don't know, fluctuates on my end. In case you are one of the people watching, I will tell you this. I'm going to give you a friendly advice. You haven't figured my list out right. You're on the wrong track to what's dangerous and what's not dangerous to you. So that's my helpful opinion, my helpful piece of advice for you before we play. I want you to have that because I'm a good guy. I love you, dog. I'm here to help. It's a strip club, man. I'm here to work. Varsity Blues, the reason I moved to Texas. I thought everybody would be like a stripper and all the chicks would wear whipped cream bikinis. It's a lie. It's a trap. Matchups are up. We did them on this channel, and an email was sent to everybody. So everybody knows their matchups for Alamo, and I think that's pretty freaking awesome. I think 20% of the guys will actually try to play their matchup. And I think that the other, what do I say, 15, 20%? If it's 15, 85% or 80% of the guys won't do shit about it and don't care. I fall into the I don't care bracket. I think about the matchup, but I don't care enough to actually play it out. One, I think the only reason I care is because I have this and he has his channel, and I think that when we do stuff, you don't want to look like an ass on TV or on a YouTube video. So my big thing is, even if I lose, just make sure I'm at least a good game. And if I win, make sure I'm a good game and not a douche when you win. So it's kind of like the double-edged sword of things. You don't want to have either or going on. You want to make sure that things are, kosher. You want to make sure that everybody's having a good time. That is the only thing that I care about when playing Warhammer is, did my opponent have a good time? Yes or no? If they did, sweet. If they didn't, that's on me. Because I hear people all the time say, well, it's on my opponent if they didn't have a good time. Well, when you play a game of Warhammer, and if your opponent just sits there the whole game and doesn't talk, doesn't say anything, I mean, are you helping with the fun, or are you just making it, awkward silence? I think that's the one thing that a lot of gamers lack, is the social skills. I don't think that they have the skills to talk throughout a game and joke around. I think that they need to have the ability to actually talk and have a conversation. This is a social game. If you don't want to talk to your opponents, then sit at home and play Call of Duty or I don't know, something else. I think that is a big problem with gaming, and I think that's a problem in our community. Is sometimes you just get the guy with no social skills whatsoever, and it's our job to get them out of that shell. It's our job to help them out, to make them fun, whether it's by giving them a beer or just being nice to them and being like, "Hey, dude." I've done that before after the game. People ask, "Oh, how was was that a good game for you?" Yeah, it was a fun game. You didn't say much. You know, And sometimes it might be on me. Maybe I don't look approachable. I try to be. Sometimes maybe people are just intimidated by my good looks and charm, which that's definitely a possibility. I could definitely see that the guy sitting across from me looks deeply into my eyes and is just transfixed with all of this short, white, and witty. And they don't want to speak to me. They're like, "Oh my God, that's a good looking man over there." And, not to go too homoerotic, but it happens. It happens. I don't know. I can't help these things. I can only be me. I can only be me. So that is a serious possibility, but I don't know. So it's just food for thought, I think. Um, I think that I think that I've never been to an Alamo. I think that it's gonna be a lot of fun. I think that I talk a lot of shit, and I think that I don't back all of it up. I will say that the Alamo this year is John Bailey's his last hurrah. I know he's not really running it, and Ryan is, but I think everybody's kind of treating this as John Bailey's send off for Alamo, and it's I want to say the 10th anniversary of Alamo or something like that. I should know more history on it, but I don't. I feel like a douche now. But all the guys that I've met down there, great people. If you're a person who's watching this, will watch this, knows somebody who should watch this, tournaments are great. Tournaments are so much fun. It's ridiculous. And I think that people give tournaments a bad name. I think that some people talk tournaments down when they shouldn't. I think that people should look at a tournament and judge it for what it is and tell people who they've met. I use tournaments as kind of a social fun weekend where I go with a bunch of buddies and I meet a bunch of guys that I keep in contact with because of this YouTube channel, because of Twitter, because of Facebook, and I get to see them once every 4 months, and it's awesome to catch up with them. And there are a lot of people that professionally do something similar to what I do, and so you get to talk to these people in different parts of the country. It's almost like a networking of things, and I think that is just it's awesome. I mean, where else are you going to do that? I mean, where else, what other thing can you be doing that lets you do that and play a freaking awesome war game? I mean, come on now. That's the fun. That's the hotness. That's what I'm looking forward to. Is seeing a bunch of dudes that I talk to. So I don't know. I mean, that's now. If only I knew how to do little letters on my little banner here. See, look, I freestyled. I freehanded something. It looks like a guy. Yeah, see that? What up? I did that all me. All me. I don't care if it looks like butt. I did it. I freehanded it. I should get little props for that, I think. I mean, maybe not a ton, but maybe just a little bit of props. I don't know. Probably won't get any props for it. Everybody will probably be like, that looks like shit, dude. That looks like fucking donkey butt. Oh my god, it's so hard to make an A in a paintbrush. M's aren't that bad, at least. So far, so good. So far, so good. Oh my gosh, this is taking entirely longer than my patience has any grasp for. I do not have the tolerance level for this. I really should learn it. So, I'm not really quite sure what to ask anybody. It's not many people are saying anything other than me, so that's fine. I'm good with that. But if you see this later, what do you feel about comp? How do you feel about the whole comp debate? Um, what do you feel about list building? When you build lists, do you go to, you know, whatever under Empire or the Wood Elf one, the High Elf, the Empire one? Do you read or look at what everybody's net building and kind of go with that? And do you kind of tweak off of that? Or do you pick up the book yourself and go, I like this, I like that, I like this, and then build your own units? I know that I build lists off of what I like, and then I tweak it to what I like and I think I can. Let me take that back. I pick up things that I think I can actually paint. What I mean is, I look at certain models and I go, "There's no way on God's green earth I can paint that," or it's going to look like total butt, and that's just no fun. So I kind of look at things and go, "I could paint that," and then I kind of go, "Okay, I could paint that army. Would I have fun playing it?" Yes. Is it competitive and is it good? Who cares? I'm going to try to make it good. That is the whole reason that myself and Lord Tremendous got into our little thing, because I think Demonettes are great. He thinks they're absolute trash. And, well, okay, my Demonettes didn't win me that game, but my greater demon did, and it's Mark Slaanesh, so Slaanesh is great. But honestly, I really do think that Demonettes held a huge value, and I think they're better than Plague Bears. They're, you know, okay, they don't have the magic like a unit of pink horrors do, but okay, I'm trying to figure out what core in the demon book is better than demonettes, and tell me and explain to me how they're so much better. Because demonettes are weapon skill 5, plague bears are weapon skill 3, right? I think so. Most units are hitting them on a 4. Most units are hitting my demonettes on a 4. Um, I'm hitting most things on a 3. I'm wounding a lot of things on 4s and sometimes 5s. Now, that can be the problem, but I have 2 attacks apiece, and if I get Hysterical Frenzy, I get 3 attacks apiece. It's a lot of attacks. Throw in the Herald in there, in the right build, and I'm always striking first. So I really like Demonettes. I know what people will say, like, well, whatever, they suck. Like, what are you basing how bad they are on? Like, what's the basis? I think if I had to rank the 4 Chaos Gods for demons, I think Slaanesh should be 1. I think if you go mono list, just a pure mono list, I might say Nurgle 2, Tzeentch 3, Khorne 4. The cannons of Khorne kind of make things interesting for them, to be honest. I really think that they make it really, skill cannons are good. And anybody that says they're not good is either absent minded or hasn't played Warhammer in I don't know, 5 months, 6 months, a year, 10 years, something. Look at that. Banner, the 3-year-old could paint. Done, son. I even wrote on there. Demonic Orchard. No, we don't get any points for freehand or anything, but whatever. I'm just hoping that, I don't know. I'm not a great painter, and I'm not going to pretend to be, but I really would like to, score well. I'd like for my army list to look good, my army to look good. If not for the scores for my opponents, I I hear a lot of times people talking about that they show up to tournaments and when they put their army down, they love playing against a really well painted army, or at least somebody that took the time to do conversions or to do some of this stuff. Uh, I'll kind of show you what I've got going on right now as far as my list is concerned, or my unit of that I'm working on right now. I have another movement tray that I have for this that's going to be getting moved over to, but this is my unit of demonettes, and you'll see that I put a demonette on a jug because she's the one that's going to be carrying my like my standard. I just like the standard to be kind of like important in the army, and I don't know how else to really convert things. So, I mean, I would love to say I know hobby, but I don't. I paint, I read, and I try to do what I can. So I just want it to look nice. Chris has a very nice looking army. When I played Lord Tremendous, he did. I played a lot of guys at Rock Wars with just, I mean, you look at it and you're just like, dude, how do you? And some guys just, they can paint, man. And I would love to be able to steal that ability from them for a couple of days just so I could get some stuff painted and be like, yeah. Because to be honest, minis are expensive as it is. I'm not about to pay somebody to paint my stuff. I might pay to have somebody build me a movement tray, or pay to have somebody. I'm about to have Ashakis the Muse commission a banner for my army, and that's his price, and he quoted me, and I was like, I'm comfortable paying that because I really couldn't. I could maybe figure out how to make it, but I can't draw for poop. So whatever, that's fine. I'll definitely take the whole. Fucking Mark. You're gonna mark my mark. I'll mark your Slaanesh. You can mark my. You can mark my Slaanesh anytime, big boy. Do what you got to do, homie. I don't mind it. I think that's great, buddy. You should definitely do that. Fucking funny. That's hilarious, bro. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Alamo itself seems like a great time, and I think that everybody gets wrapped up in talking about the tournament. I think that people don't talk about the I'm sorry, my Twitter feed's open and I'm looking at Bill Curry saying that nobody's forcing him to do shit ever. One naked hero is all I will ever take from this day forward. Fucking liar. Lies. So, oh, the tournaments. I think that even with tournaments, I think that people. Yep, that just happened. That just happened. I just dropped my entire tray of models fucking on the floor. Beautiful. That's par for the course. That kind of hurts the old pride. And what did we learn, class? We learned not to put our models next to tables, teacher. And why did we not do that, Billy? Because they could fall over. Yes, that is exactly what just happened. Holy poop. That sucked, ball sack. But, nope, I was about to say, but nothing broke. But Then I look down and I see arms on the ground. And now I'm depressed. Is that 2 arms? 2 arms. 2 arms. Well, poop. Oh boy. Oh well. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do about it? Nothing. Just fucking take it. You're gonna take it up the butt. I just took it. Look at this. 2 effing arms. Damn it! I hate that Bob Barker. I fucking hate Mark Cox even more right now. You bastard. You're not putting your balls on anything. Nothing. Nothing! So, now that I'm getting angry, I'm going to start talking more crap. This is about to become an episode of shit talking with Randy, where we talk shit about people we don't know or have never met in our entire lives and could ever meet us, because that would be embarrassing. Yeah, I'm going to do that. No, not really. I'm really not going to do any of that. Now I have to put together models because this shit sucks. Sucks hardcore. I hate it. I hate it so much. Oh, man. This sucks donkey butt. Oh, well. So, anyway. Anywho, back to my grievance with one Skaven and AZ, because he deserves this grievance now. I just dropped my freaking models because of you, douche nozzle. I'm blaming you for this, Chris, by the way, that I just dropped my models. I'm blaming everything. I'm blaming everything. So I'm blaming everything on you, bro. So Chris, it's your fault that I just dropped my models. I'm having to squash some family drama while I'm doing this paint episode. Look at that, multitasking. I almost kept the conversation going while answering a text message, while answering a message as well. Freaking, I am the man. That right there makes me the best ever. Just saying. I'm just saying. So, suck it. See, look at this. See what you guys get to witness? You get to witness me doing this. So, anyway, I don't know. What was I talking about? I don't even remember now. Does anybody remember what I was talking about? and then some douchebag has to put me on blast on Twitter for dropping my whole army on the ground. You ass clown. He's such a fucking douchebag. You're gonna pay for that, Mark Cox. Pay for it. That's how I roll, bro. That's how I roll. So I'm gonna look it up here. I'm gonna go over the Alamo scenarios, and I'm also gonna talk about tournaments, the cities. So for me, see, this is why I wish I would have done this live. I could have edited all this out, all this random crap. To me, I go to GTs because of the cities. And if you've never been in San Antonio and got to go to the river walk, don't even mind the fact that the alcohol is going to flow like a river, which is going to be epic and awesome. The other fact is that the city itself is beautiful. And it's a great place to go. And it's a great place to see. So that's what I want to spend my time and my money on. I want to go to GTs where my money and my time is well spent, and it's not some, I don't want to go to some crappy city or, and to be honest with you, the older I get, the more most cities don't suck. Most cities are great no matter where you want to go to. Of course, I can't find my shit to fix this, which is just epic. Great. I think most cities are great. I think most places are great to go see. I think you make the city what you make of it, but going to San Antonio, awesome. I went to Wargamers Con in Austin. The tournament was, I mean, The tournament wasn't bad. It's just I don't know if I like being in a gaming venue or room with a billion 40K players, a whole lot of Warhammer hordes, and a little bit of Warhammer Fantasy where there's only 30 players. Like, is it really worth it? I don't know. I'm hoping they get more next year, and I might go still. We'll see. But I will say for a fact that Austin, the city, is freaking epic. I love it to death. So, I mean, I can't see myself not going to that. So, whatever. But definitely going to, like, I'm going up to Wapaka. And I have no idea what's even up in Wisconsin for Wapaka. I'm assuming that there's really nothing there. But who knows? There's going to be a bunch of cool people there. It'll be an experience. But I mean, I have no idea. I don't want anybody to see the shit I'm working on, you ass clown. That's the whole point. I'd have to back this stuff all the way over here. See, look at that. And I did not just throw it. It fell off because I answered the stupid telephone. You know what, Cox? I'm starting to hate your guts. But this is what I'm working on, since nobody can see it. People are talking about, well, I'm not working on my T-shirt. That's ridiculous. I guess you can't see it, but demonettes, broken arms now. We're at that phase of the game. Broken arms and demonettes. Yay. And for an encore, I'm going to set my demonettes aside because they're making me upset. I can't paint, man. My artistic ability is it's leaving me. I'm definitely going to finish painting my new Soul Grinder. And Chris, if you kill my Soul Grinder that I'm working on here, if this is the first model to die, I swear to effing Christ, I will pick it up and I'll throw it at your big bald melon. See this? See what I just did there? See what happens when I drop models? I cuss at people and then I tell them off. It just doesn't go well. I hate it. God. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not about to have a nerd rage moment. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to let people I'm not going to let people like Mark Cox and George get under my skin. You're not going to win. You guys don't get to win. You guys are the reasons that I hate this. No, I'm just kidding. But if you did miss it, we did do all the Alamo talk. If you haven't checked out our podcast yet, Lone Hammer, you should definitely do that. I'm sure a good 7 or 8 people will eventually watch this paint-a-sode, which is always epic. And if you haven't listened to Lone Hammer, it's pretty much our take on the South and Warhammer down here. There's a ton of podcasts from the Northeast. There's a couple now coming from the West Coast, but there's nothing down south. So it's our take on the South. And I'm not going to lie to you, we hobby a little bit, but most of us go to a lot of tournaments. Do a choke slam. Fuck. Why does the people that view my channel aren't new people? They're people that are going to freaking heckle me. You're going to heckle me and text me. I see how it is. That's cool. I should just give out my phone number to everybody. Everybody text me and heckle me. Yay! Hex teckle. Teckle hex. Heckle text. Shit. Whatever. You know what I mean. So, yeah, it's definitely a South's perspective of the things that are going to do. So I'm still waiting for Chris to put out his list for me so that I can go to the bathroom, print it out, go to the bathroom, and take a shit on it. And then when I get to Alamo on Saturday, I will take a dookie on it from real life, which I'm looking forward to, Chris. I want to thank you. You poked the bear, bro. I forgot that you brought up that whole Swedish, that Eastern European country thing, because I said I had a Swedish comp or something. But you've poked the bear. I am now not afraid to take a big fat dookie on your chest. And by chest, I mean your army. And by army, I mean your A-bomb. So what I'm actually predicting for the match is for turn 1, me to go 20 inches forward, cack bomb his Doom Wheel, A-bomb, and all the slave units, kill the Doom Wheel, A-bomb, and some slaves, and then my keeper dies, but then it won't matter. That's what I'm looking forward to. Of course, none of this is going to happen because I've just said it out loud. And if I didn't say it out loud, yes, I did. I am mentioning throwing it at your head because this is what's coming at you. I don't know. I don't know. I think you're hoping that maybe I should start drinking and then God knows it'll come out of my mouth. But I have to work in the morning early because I have to have Friday off to go to San Antonio. God, I'm freaking sick of painting models. Oh, well, whatever. What's a good color for a tongue? I think it's like you brought that shit on yourself. I'm not gonna give you. You'll give me a lookout, sir. You're giving me a lookout, sir. I don't even know what we're talking about, but you're gonna give me a lookout, sir. And why? Because I said so. That's why. You're gonna do it because I want you to. So suck it, Trebek. How does that make you feel? Does it make you feel good? Does that make you feel strong? Huh? Huh there, fucking Captain Douche Nozzle? You'll give me whatever I tell you to. It's funny. You guys crack me up. I'm not even gonna lie. I like you people. I might keep you around. Might. I might just kill you. I notice I don't have any reds. Fun. I think a gold tongue will do. First of all, I'm not drunk per se. And by per se, I mean I'm not even close to drunk. I haven't actually had anything to drink yet, which might be the problem. But I'm saving up for all the vodka that you are bringing me since you're not going to drink it with me, nerd. God, who doesn't drink at Alamo? It's like a party foul. Yeah, I'm bad gaming you. Just, you know what, Ryan Smith, if you're watching this or if you watch the replay, just throw down my bad game vote now for Mr. Skaven AZ for not drinking. And if it's not a bad game vote, you know what, you can give him a good game vote or just a vote, but I want like a separate category at the Alamo that gives points for people that drink and how much. Like you should have to drink this much and you get like awarded points. This much you get points, and this you don't. Oh my God. It would be epic. Sucks. I'm still upset about my model. Still upset about the model. When I say you people, I mean you people, as in you people. I don't understand how to clarify this anymore to you, Mark Cox. You freaking country bumpkin hick. That's what I'm going to call you from now on. I'm going to call you Bumpkin Hick. I had viewers. Now I have no viewers because everybody's like, well, why would I watch this? He's just talking shit about Mark Cox, and nobody knows who that fucking guy is. I mean, what a turd monger. It's like the two Skaven people. Like, what is this, the Skaven? Is everybody they're watching me right now? Do you all play Skaven? Is everybody Skaven watchers? Are you like, oh my God, always talk about Skaven. Oh, I'm going to play with my nipples. Excuse me, I'm going to rub one out really fast. Talk about Skaven. Ooh, rats. Yeah, Doom Wheel. Ooh, double Doom Wheel. Oh, double Hell Pit Abomination. Shit's so good. Is that what happens? I don't know. I'm just wondering for Skaven people, like, is that what goes on? Because I can tell you as a demon player, what happens when we talk about things like cacophonic, we're like, oh yeah, you just got the cack. Ooh, we're giving you the cack. That's what we're going through our head when we do it. And if your opponent doesn't say that to you, like, ooh, do you like me giving you the cack? Then they're not a fun game. You'd be like, ooh, I gave my cack to all your units. Ooh, your cack. Yeah, and they should do it in the dirty, like old grandpa voice. That would be something special if they did that. If they did it, you'd be like, oh my god, they actually did it in a fucking disgusting voice, and now I feel better about myself. But that's just me, though. I mean, whatever. Like I said, to each their own. Some people aren't any fun anymore. They take everything too serious. I wonder if I have a bald spot up there. I'm gonna have to watch this later. I hope not. That would be embarrassing. Keep bending my head over, and people are like, "Oh, look at that bald spot that guy's got." Rogaine, that's coming my way. So poopy, so crappy. So, yeah, I have a confession to make that I have won my last 3 games in a row against Skaven. Uh, so I'm pretty excited about that prospect. 3 whole games in a row. It's like I'm on a freaking streak. It's epic. So good. Want to touch the hiney? Hey, Chris, if you could tonight, make a video and just show me how you're going to deploy so that I can make this game go faster. I figured that if I know how you're deploying, then I can just beat you in a couple of turns instead of it taking all 6, and then we can go drink, where I can go drink and you can watch me drink. And then that would be fun too if you want. I mean, what do you think? Yes, maybe so. I don't know. I did see an article the other day on cheating in Warhammer 40K, and then I listened to the Sustainable Center talk about it. And my thought on that is, if you're not cheating, you ain't trying. So, I mean, everybody cheats, right? Whether intentionally or unintentionally, everybody cheats. I'm just throwing it out there. Whether it's, you squeak an extra inch in your movement phase and you move your units, you start wheeling your movements and you really can't, but you do, and it happens, whatever. Like, we're all gentlemen here, like, it's whatever. Or, sometimes you roll 30 dice and you're like, oh, this is a miss, and you pick up the 2 that's a miss and you didn't notice it. Technically, you cheated, so I don't know. Whatever. Good for those guys. Way to get ballsy and try to cheat, 80 other people out of a victory. That takes some fucking gumption, in my opinion. Take some gumption. And I was listening to them talk about 40K and how hard it is to make an army list, and the TO should make sure they're legal. We're all big boys and big girls, or girls, whatever, and we all put our pants on the same way. If you can't make your own army list and you can't make it valid, then you deserve to get kicked out of a tournament. Matter of fact, if you send in an illegal army once, the TO can be like, hey, dude, you screwed up. Do it twice. They should kick you in the nuts and just not let you play. Like, you're too stupid to live. That's what it is. The TO should call this the "you're too stupid to live" rule, and you don't get it. You just don't get to play. I'm sorry, sir, you can't play this game. Why not? Because you don't know how to commit an army list. And if you can't even do that, how can I expect you to show up to the tournament, and not drown in an inch of water while washing your face in the sink? Yeah, just throwing it out there. I'm now currently painting a battle standard bearer thingy, mabobber, majiggy, which is not going to take me a ton of time because I was already told I suck at painting. So I'm just going to kind of paint this really fast, glue it, and then be done with it. And my heckling section has left me alone, so that makes me feel good. Either they stopped watching. I'm not quite sure. I have no idea. Fucking tickle party. You're not getting a tickle party, Mark. We're not doing tickle text. You know why we're not doing it? Because you are just mean. You're mean, bro. Oh, I get the text. Yeah. Chris, you don't get a save when I throw this at him. Mark's my boy, homie. You guys might play Skaven together, but we're from Dallas, baby. I mean, it's the D. I'm from Detroit. That's the real D. And later on, after Saturday, you're going to see these nuts all up on Yami. Whoa! Whoa! That's like that Karate Kid scene, you know? Whoa! Whoa! So I think that's pretty good. I think that's clever enough. I don't know. you wish you you can't quit me, Cox. You can't do it. You're not allowed to. You're gonna have to fucking just suck it up, bro, and accept the fact that this is what it is. But I'm actually gonna talk about something real now, which is the scenario that we're playing in Alamo. That I'm actually playing against. Let me see. Is this it? No, I'm looking for the email. That me and Chris are going to play for the first round of the Alamo GT, and I think that that's important to see, so you guys know exactly what we're kind of doing. Of course, I can't find the damn email, which that's par for the course. Knowing my luck, I deleted it like a dumbass. I don't know why I would do that, but I don't ever doubt myself. Huh. Maybe it's down here somewhere. Probably not. Oh, here it is. Ah, here it is. I found it. I'm the man. I'm the freaking man. I found it. You all are so lucky. I'm so good at this. No, not really. So, if you do watch Skaven and AZ's channel, he went over all the scenarios. But we're going to be playing El Malojo. I don't do Spanish, so I mean, it is what it is. So that's my attempt at Spanish, and I'm sticking to it. So what are we going to be doing in this? We're going to be doing. I'm not sure what this means. Okay, weird. I hate when comments are like that. They're just weird. I don't even understand what you're saying. All right. So what is this going to be? The deployment. Roll off to see which player picks the half of the table they will deploy in. The player who traveled the furthest to attend the tournament has a +1 to roll. Now, I'm going to lie when I get to Alamo, and I'm going to say I'm from Michigan, because I technically am, so I will have traveled the furthest. This scenario uses a triangular deployment zone. The winner should mark a point 24 inches along the short edge of the table, furthest from the bar. So wherever the bar is at, where the tables are, you have to go to the farthest point and mark 24 inches. And in another corner of the edge furthest from the bar, the winner must place the first unit. Players then take turn to place units on the table. Now, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I truly believe that this scenario is horrible for Skaven. I really believe this is a bad scenario for Skaven for two things. One, the deployment zone is just absolute shit for anybody running hordes or running buses. And most Skaven players run 3 or 4 units of 50 plus guys. I mean, you just do. You run out of room. You can't put everything in the middle of the table and go, look at me, I'm in the middle of the table. Now I get to, do what I want. You're castling. I mean, math, just doing simple math, you're going to be castling. Awesome. You're in a corner. Woo! Nobody puts baby in a corner except for the scenario. And it's going to put baby in a corner. And here's the other problem that I see coming up. If the tables are done evenly, and this depends on what table we're on, what if there's like impassable terrain in the deployment zones in the corner furthest from the bar? Then what happens? Then where do units start going? Then stuff is going to have to start getting spread out. Forests. You want to put that big rat pack in a forest? I mean, that's a risk. It's definitely a risk. On top of a hill, behind a hill, and you can't see what's going on. These are just some of the things that I think that we're going to be dealing with that people don't think about when they have army lists and when they build them, is when you build to the scenario. First turn, roll off after deployment to see which player takes the first turn. I have a really good shot of winning the first turn because I get the +1 because I have less units. The player that has finished deploying his army adds a +1 to his roll. Use victory points to determine the winner of the battle. Special rules: El Mal Ojo. Pick a unit champion in your army. This champion is the bearer of the Ojo. If your army contains no unit champion, select a hero or lord choice who is not a wizard. They already have enough going on the army or the army's battle standard bearer. If your only characters are wizards or battle standard bearers, and you have no unit champions, you cannot have an Ojo bearer. The TO gives you the Ojo instead. If the Ojo bearer is slain and later returns to the game, he has lost his Ojo and counts as slain for the battle points below. The bearer of the Ojo has access to the following innate bound spells: the Stink Eye, Hex, power level 3. Select a unit 24 inches of the caster. That unit has -1 weapon skill, ballistic skill, or initiative. Baleful Gaze, direct damage, 24 inch range. The target unit takes D6 strength 4 hits with the armor piercing special rule. Because that's what I need. I need more direct damage, which is, I mean, it works for me. I'll take 24 inches. I'll take, roll the dice and see if I can't hit a cannon with it and try to do some moves to a cannon or a doom wheel. I'll risk it. Battle points: +2 points for slaying the bearer of the enemy Ojo. +1 points if your own Ojo bearer is alive and not fleeing at the end of the game. +1 points for successfully casting an Ojo spell on your opponent without it being dispelled. So that's pretty much the way the game is going to go. Now, I know that people are going to look down on what I'm about to say. I, generally speaking, do not go through the whole rigmarole of trying to stop people from getting the I get to basically, I don't ever stop the extra bonus points usually from people, like the casting the Ojo spell, especially if I'm winning. It's a victory point, so be it. Like, get it. I'm not super concerned about somebody casting one of those spells. I have my dispel dice for something else, and that's just me being perfectly honest. If I think the way to get those points is you open up your magic phase, you have like 10 dice, and you're like, 2 dice at this. All right. I mean, I'm not going to stop that when, there's plague and other spells that a Skaven player can have. And I can't imagine that somebody would look at me and go, okay, well, I got to stop that one victory point from going through. Whew. I mean, I know he's got Cacophonic, and I know that Bubble Cac's coming, but I'm going to use these last 3 dice to stop that one victory point. Whatever. I mean, it is what it is. Deal with it. Enjoy it. Live it. Laugh it. Love it. In your mother face. So that's the scenario. I have actually looked at it, seen it. I now I see what I can see what's going on with the how Skaven deploy in it. Like I said, Jeff, the guy I do Lonehammer with, we've talked about it. The matchups. He's played Warhammer a lot more than me. And I'm reading 2 thumbs and rocking antibiotics this weekend. That sucks to be sick during Alamo. Sucker! You're a douchebag, Mark. Just saying. Just gonna throw it out there. I didn't throw anything on the ground, you bastard. Shit stain. You're the shit stain on life. And for anybody that is coming to Alamo, I strongly suggest you listen to the pairings episode again. If you do listen to the pairings episode, you will see that you can do we're doing for a prize, pick the winners of round 1. If you pick all the winners of round 1 correctly, then you might just win something. And winning prizes is always cool. I'm just going to say it. Say it now. It's really cool. It is really, 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 really cool. Everybody should do it. Everybody should do it. Go watch that, look at the matchups, and pick the winners. I personally believe that I am going to win because I am awesome. And that is all that matters. Also, since you've made it this far in the podcast or in the episode of basically nothingness of painting, which I have done some and gotten a couple models done, and I'm still working on the banner. But if you are still here watching, I will tell you this, and feel free to tell anybody else. We will be, as long as I have the right internet connection, we will be doing a live feed of all the Table 1 matchups of Alamo all weekend. And we will have live commentary to go along with it. My buddy Jeremiah is going to be down in Alamo, and because he's a butt plug, he did not get to play because, well, he's a butt plug. Butt plugs are not allowed to play at Alamo. And so he is graciously told me that he does not have a problem with being the camera guy, and he will be doing commentary for people. It'll be live on probably just like this, with a little bit of delay, and people can ask him questions and ask him to do stuff, and he will do so. And that way you can see what the South has to offer as far as gameplay. And you'll see exactly how great we are. We are epic. And, you know, if you're lucky, you'll see me on Table 1 a couple of times because, well, you know, after I deal with my light work, which is a Skaven player, it shouldn't be too much problem. Totally kidding. All jokes aside, I am very much looking forward to Alamo. I am very much looking for my round 1 opponent. It should be just fun, and that's all you can ask for in a tournament, is to have fun and to have a good game, a clean game, where you just do what you have to do. I'm not gonna lie. When I play people I know, I really don't pay attention to things like, when people roll their spells. I don't look, I don't watch. And people tell me like, well, you should watch them roll their spells. You should watch them do this. You should watch them roll dice. But my feeling on that is, if you're going to cheat to beat me, even if I'm watching you, you're going to find a way to cheat. So who gives a rat's ass? Cheat away. If I need to go get a beer, I'm going to go get a beer. If you got dice to roll the damn dice. Tell me the truth. Be a man about it. Like, oh, I missed, dude. Oh, okay, cool. That's just me, though. I mean, maybe I'm a sucker and that's what it is. But I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being a sucker as long as, it's a fun game and I'm drinking beer or liquor, and which I will be, lots of it. But yeah, I mean, I guess I really don't have much else on this painting thing. So, Chris, I will see you Saturday. Don't worry, I'm going to bring a condom, and I have I'll lube it up for you when I stick it in you. And Mark, I will see you Friday night, you son of a bitch, and I plan on donkey punching you a couple times. And for the rest of the hot guys, which are the hangover heroes of Texas, for those of you that don't know, be prepared to drink, motherfuckers. Shit's going to get real. Really real. See y'all later. Deuces.